What this lick really means. Have you ever looked at your dog and wondered what is really going on inside that furry head? Not what they want for dinner, not whether they want to go outside, but what they actually think about you? Because here's something most dog owners never realize. Your dog is constantly communicating with you every single day. Every time they follow you down the hallway, every time they stare at you from across the room, every time they curl up beside your bed or gently place a paw on your leg, they're sending messages. And according to animal behavior experts, most people completely misunderstand what those messages mean. In fact, one of the behaviors on today's list reveals something so powerful that researchers say it may be one of the clearest signs of trust a dog can give a human, and almost nobody recognizes it. Today, we're uncovering 12 surprising things your dog does and what they secretly mean. Some of these behaviors may completely change the way you see your relationship with your dog forever. But before we begin, if you're a true dog lover, comment the number 1 below. Let's see how many devoted dog owners are watching today. Now let's start with a behavior that happens so often, most people never think twice about it. 1. Why does your dog follow you everywhere? You stand up. Your dog stands up. You walk into the kitchen. Your dog follows. You head toward the bedroom. A few seconds later, they're already there. Some owners joke that their dog is a shadow. Others call it clingy behavior. But neither explanation tells the whole story. Thousands of years ago, dogs survived as part of social groups. Being separated from trusted companions could mean danger, predators, getting lost, losing access to food and protection. The modern dog sleeping on your couch may live in a completely different world, but many of those ancient instincts remain deeply embedded in the brain. When your dog follows you, they're not simply being curious. They're tracking someone important. Someone they trust, someone whose location matters. Behaviorists often describe this as social monitoring. Your dog feels more secure when they know where you are. And perhaps the most touching part is this. Out of everyone in the house, many dogs choose to follow one specific person. The person they have bonded with most strongly. The person who represents safety. The person who feels like home. For many dogs, that's you. And that brings us to something even more surprising. 2. Why does your dog sleep near you every night? Think about where your dog chooses to sleep. On your bed, beside your bed, outside your bedroom door, sometimes even touching you. At first glance, it seems simple. They're comfortable. They're warm. But scientists believe something deeper is happening. Sleep is one of the most vulnerable states any animal can experience. A sleeping animal cannot react quickly, cannot monitor threats effectively, cannot protect itself. In nature, vulnerability can be dangerous. So when your dog willingly falls asleep beside you, they're making a remarkable statement. They're saying, I trust this environment enough to completely relax. More importantly, I trust you enough to let my guard down. Many people spend years trying to earn trust from another human. Your dog often gives it every single night. And the next behavior may be even more emotional because it happens when you're not looking. 3. Why does your dog watch you? Have you ever glanced across the room and found your dog staring at you? Not barking, not moving, just quietly watching. Some owners find it funny, others find it strange. But research into canine-human relationships has revealed something fascinating. When dogs and humans share gentle eye contact, both can experience increased oxytocin levels. Oxytocin is sometimes called the love hormone. It's associated with bonding, trust, connection. The same chemical plays a major role in relationships between parents and children. Of course, context matters. A relaxed gaze is very different from an aggressive stare. But when your dog looks at you with soft eyes and a calm body posture, they're often seeking connection. They're engaging socially. They're checking in. In many ways, they're doing the canine version of smiling across a room. And if your dog does the next behavior, they may be trying to share something valuable with you. 4. Why does your dog bring you toys? Picture this. Your dog walks over carrying their favorite toy. They place it at your feet. Then they look at you, waiting. Most owners immediately think, They want me to throw it. Sometimes that's true, but behavior experts say there can be another meaning. In social animals, sharing valuable resources can strengthen bonds. Your dog's favorite toy isn't just a random object. It's something important to them, something they enjoy, something they value. When they voluntarily bring it to you, they're including you in something meaningful. It's not always about fetch. Sometimes it's about friendship, a way of saying, "This matters to me, and I want to share it with you." That's a surprisingly sophisticated social behavior. And speaking of physical connection, the next behavior reveals something important about how safe your dog feels around you. 5. Why does your dog lean against you? Some dogs don't simply sit nearby. They press their body against your leg. They rest their weight on you. Sometimes they practically melt into your side. Many people assume this is attention-seeking, and occasionally it is. But often there's more to it. Physical contact can have calming effects on dogs. Just as humans find comfort in hugs and closeness, dogs often seek reassurance through touch. Leaning allows them to maintain direct physical connection with someone they trust. Therapy dogs frequently use this behavior, not because they were taught, but because it naturally promotes comfort and emotional security. When your dog leans into you, they're not merely occupying space. They're choosing closeness, choosing connection, choosing comfort, and perhaps most importantly, they're choosing you. Stay with us, because the next behavior is one that millions of owners completely misunderstand, and it may reveal more about your relationship than you ever imagined. 6. Why does your dog get so excited when you come home? You leave for 10 minutes, maybe 20, maybe an hour. Yet when you walk through the front door, your dog reacts as if you've returned from a year-long expedition. The tail starts wagging. The body wiggles. Some dogs jump. Some spin in circles. Others race around the house as if they suddenly forgot how to walk normally. Most people laugh and say their dog is being dramatic. But there's actually a powerful emotional reason behind this reaction. Unlike humans, dogs don't measure relationships through complicated social expectations. They measure them through attachment. Presence matters. Connection matters. Routine matters. And when the person they care about most suddenly reappears, the brain releases a wave of positive emotional energy. For many dogs, your return represents the restoration of normality. The family is together again. The pack is complete. The world feels right. That's why, even after thousands of reunions, many dogs still celebrate every single one. And the next behavior may be even more touching, because it's something dogs often do when they want your attention, without making a sound. 7. Why does your dog put a paw on you? You're watching television, reading a book, working on your computer. Then suddenly you feel it. A paw resting gently on your arm, or your leg, or your hand. And your dog just looks at you, waiting. This simple gesture is one of the most effective communication tools dogs possess. Dogs don't have words. They don't have language the way humans do, so they rely on body contact, eye contact, movement, and touch. A paw can mean many things. It can mean, I want attention, I want affection, I need reassurance, or simply, I'm here. Think about how often humans touch the people they care about. A hand on the shoulder, a hug, a gentle tap on the arm. Dogs use physical contact in much the same way. The paw isn't always a request. Sometimes it's simply connection, a quiet reminder that your dog wants to be close to you. And speaking of closeness, the next behavior reveals one of the strongest signs of trust a dog can offer. 8. Why does your dog sit with their back facing you? Most people misunderstand this behavior completely. A dog sits beside them, turns around, and faces the opposite direction. The owner assumes, my dog is ignoring me, but canine communication tells a very different story. In the animal world, turning your back on someone can be risky. You're exposing a vulnerable area. You're reducing your ability to monitor potential threats. Dogs understand this instinctively. When your dog sits with their back against you or faces away while remaining close, they're demonstrating confidence, trust, security. They're essentially saying, I know you're safe. I don't need to watch you. I can relax around you. Some behaviorists consider this one of the purest expressions of trust available in canine body language. And if your dog does the next behavior, they may trust you even more than you realize. 9. Why does your dog wait by the door? Have you ever returned home and found your dog waiting near the entrance? Maybe by the front door, maybe near a window, maybe in the exact spot where they last saw you leave. To many owners, this seems heartbreaking, as though the dog spent the entire day feeling lonely. But the reality is often more hopeful than sad. Dogs are masters of routine. They learn patterns, schedules, daily habits, the sound of your footsteps, the timing of your return, the noise of your car, the click of a lock. Over time, they build expectations. And one of the strongest expectations they develop is this: you always come back. Waiting by the door is often anticipation, not despair. Your dog believes you're returning because history has taught them that you do. Every successful reunion reinforces that belief. Every return strengthens that trust. And that trust leads directly into our next behavior, a behavior that many owners find adorable but rarely understand. 10. Why does your dog bring you random objects? A sock, a slipper, a towel, a toy. Sometimes your dog walks proudly toward you carrying something that seems completely meaningless. Why? The answer may surprise you. In canine social behavior, bringing objects can be a form of interaction, a conversation starter, a way of creating engagement. Your dog isn't necessarily trying to steal your belongings. They're often trying to include you in an activity. Notice how proud many dogs look when carrying something. Their tail wags. Their posture changes. They seem excited. That's because the object itself isn't always the point. The interaction is. They're initiating contact, seeking connection, inviting participation. In a strange but lovable way, your dog may be saying, "Look what I found. Pay attention to me. Let's do something together." And now we arrive at the behavior that changes how many people view their dog forever. 11. Why does your dog sleep touching you? Maybe it's their paw against your leg, their back against your foot, their head resting on your arm. Whatever form it takes, some dogs insist on maintaining physical contact while sleeping. At first glance, it seems like a comfort habit, but there's much more happening beneath the surface. Physical contact creates security. It provides information. Even during sleep, your dog can detect small movements, body heat, and subtle changes through touch. Maintaining contact allows them to remain connected while resting. But emotionally, the meaning may be even deeper. When your dog chooses to sleep touching you, they're voluntarily spending one of the most vulnerable parts of their day in direct connection with the person they trust most. That's not convenience. That's attachment. That's affection. That's trust expressed without words. And now we've reached the final behavior, the one we intentionally saved for last, because it may be the most meaningful behavior of all. 12. Why does your dog lick you? Most people call it a kiss. And while affection is certainly part of the story, the truth goes much deeper. Licking begins at the very start of a dog's life. Mother dogs lick their puppies constantly to comfort them, to care for them, to bond with them, to help them feel safe. Those early experiences become deeply connected to security and social connection. As dogs grow older, licking remains part of their emotional vocabulary. It's one of the oldest forms of communication they possess. When your dog licks your hand after you've been away, they may be reconnecting with you. When they lick your face, they may be expressing social affection. When they repeatedly lick someone they care about, they're often reinforcing a bond. They're saying, "You matter to me. You belong with me. You are part of my world." And perhaps that's the most remarkable thing about dogs. Every day, they communicate, not with words, not with sentences, not with conversations, but with behaviors, tiny moments, small gestures, simple actions that most people overlook. Yet hidden inside those behaviors is an entire emotional language, a language built on trust, connection, safety, loyalty, and love. Once you learn to recognize that language, you begin to see your dog differently. The stare becomes affection. The paw becomes communication. The toy becomes a gift. The sleeping position becomes trust. The lick becomes connection. And suddenly, you realize something extraordinary. Your dog has been telling you how much you matter all along. You just needed to learn how to listen. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new about your loyal dog today, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another dog psychology video. And tell us in the comments, which behavior does your dog do most often? We read every single comment.